It's Thursday morning. Every week, a group of vets meets in the cafe on the Dawesville Cut. They're mostly SAS, with a few regular Army and some Air Force. The SAS and the RAF formed a mutually appreciative bond in Vietnam's jungles.
If we got into any strife, we get on the radio and they'd be there. Gunships, slick to pick the boys up and take them to safety.
Since 1957, the Special Air Service Regiment, the SASR, or more popularly, the SAS, have been fighters, trainers and peacekeepers. Borneo to Afghanistan, with Vietnam looming largely in the middle.
Oh, what a team. What a team. How is this for a cricket score? 507 for one. 507 of the VC NVA killed for one of our own by enemy. Now that's one hell of a score.
After 6 decades, the regiment's men and their successors are largely unknowable and unknown to fellow Australians. But perceived transgressions by the military will always get press time, even court time. Not today, though. This morning, the talk's more about fishing and cars than dangerous helicopter extractions.
And then a lot of bites, and I lost a lot of bait.
There's also help, if needed.
They call this therapy, because we can talk the same stuff.
At this point, you should know that the vet's name for themselves is the politically incorrect Gentlemen's Society, the Pigs. It's a joke. It's also a statement.
When I left out of Sydney on the Qantas charter, we were cheered. Hooray, boys, give 'em hell. Good on you, mate. And clapped. When I got back, David, we were deriled, spat upon, derided, and generally the curse of the nation. How did that happen in 12 months?
I've been married 50 years this year. My wife was part of my life as a soldier and that, and going to Vietnam. So I've survived all that. But a lot of guys don't survive that. Their family lives are destroyed.
Things happen and your brain will store them, and somewhere along the line something might trigger it and it'll come back to you. And it's not a very pleasant experience.
We were stunned. And unfortunately, the military and political leadership at the time didn't recognise the fact and support us. And so we had all these poor lost souls coming out of a war zone that thought their own society had rejected them.
It's generations since Vietnam was fought. But the more things change, the more they stay the same.
What they're doing now is the guys come back from Afghanistan, so they talk to a psychologist for 10 minutes, and he says, "No, you're okay, I'll see you later." 10 years later, he says, "Oh, I've just crashed and burned." And they said, "Yeah, but when you came back from Afghanistan, you were fine." Well, how stupid's that? I mean, some of these things take years to evolve.
Crash and burn. Veteran suicides. A government inquiry. But there's another disconnect that needs to be sorted.
Do you think that the public understands the SAS?
I think the public understands what the media tells them. They don't necessarily know what's behind the facade.
What has the media told them?
Well, the media, in my estimation, makes great headway with things like atrocities and things like this, which, unfortunately crop up every now and then. But there's a lot to the regiment behind those sort of headlines.
You only get a small bit of information that comes across on news medias, so it's the perception of that TV station of how it's portrayed. I think, all the people I know who went to active service, they're just normal, hard-working people who did a job that was asked of them, and I think sometimes that's misinterpreted by,
So it
news
comes
media.
out adversely.
Well, I think TV stations put on what they want to put on to get whatever effect they want to get. So maybe they don't get the full representation of what really happened.
For this story, we asked to film at Swanbourne, where the SAS is based. It was not possible. Rightly or wrongly, there is an absence of trust between the SAS and the Fourth Estate. Except here, with the pigs at Dawesville every Thursday morning.
Having an interaction with either blokes that you worked with all those years or in some cases grew up with has got to be better than staring into a piece of perspex and tapping away on a keyboard.
And you can talk about anything?
Yeah.
And constantly do?
Oh yeah. So, some of the viewpoints are fairly out there, but it's always good having that interaction.
What's out there for the SAS?
Oh, I can't tell you that, mate. We'd all be given free room and board, I think.